Good morning, everybody. It is a pleasure that we have gathered here today for the interview with our prospective history teacher, Bharat sir. Also astounded by the profound knowledge he possesses. We are, we are excited to unlock the fascination and relevance of history for our audience. So, your journey as a history teacher would involve shaping young minds, fostering critical thinking, and engaging curiosity that transcends textbook. We are looking forward to learn more about your experience teaching philosophy and your creative approaches which make history an engaging and relevant subject. Your insight will play a crucial role in shaping the education journey of our students.
So this will be Bharat sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rishi.
Sparkle your interest in history? What sparkled your interest in history?
Okay, the very first thing I liked about history. So do you know what is history?
Yes.
What is it?
About our past.
Yes. So study of our past, correct? So something that enhances knowledge, something that gives you knowledge. And for getting knowledge we need inquiry, correct? So for inquiry kind of thing we should have curiosity, right? So that curiosity was there in me right from of your age, right? So that is why I thought that I should I should choose a subject that enhances inquiry, correct, and also promotes knowledge among children.
How do you make historical events enjoying and relevant for students with varying level of interest in subject?
Okay. So most of the time I use mnemonics. I think you all know mnemonics. No? Regarding states I have taken. Right? So use mnemonics so that you can easily remember it and you will also enjoy. For example, I have taken mnemonic for remembering states as well as union territories. Do you remember?
Yes.
So did you like that?
Yes.
Instead of going through this way, if you do something different, something unique, and it will be remembered for a long time. Correct? So similarly for geography also we can divide the class into a solar system, right? And these kind of activities can be helpful for the students.
What teaching strategies do you use to promote study of history?
Yes. So strategies I use first of all, it is said by people that history is so boring. Right? Have you heard it?
Yes.
Right. So, but history is not boring, correct? If you carefully study history, you will know that science and history are so much related. How? Because whatever discoveries are there, whatever inventions are there, they are already discovered, they are already invented. Now they are the part of history, correct? So, if you want to know them, correct? You have to inquire, you have to get the knowledge how it was done, correct? And at the same time, if you come to the science, you will get why, right? So for grade 6, there is first chapter as an introductory. What is it? What, how, where, correct? So these strategies or these things make you understand that if you keep on asking question, correct? If you do inquiry based things with you, for example, suppose I am telling you this was happened.
And we are asking a question.
Yes. So these kind of strategies, like suppose I am telling you an amazing fact, correct? So you will, Arey wow, this is something interesting, right? And then you will keep asking questions. So these kind of strategies I have to use. Some or the other time I also ask questions. I take quiz kind of things in the classroom, right? That also enhances their interest, correct? And they also try to give more and more answers, not for the part of competition, but for the part of knowledge.
Do you use technology to enhance your lesson?
Yes, the assemblies I took on history, right? So there I use some YouTube videos and some PPTs, correct? That gives us more understanding of complex concepts, correct? If I am taking history and you want to know the interior of the earth, in such situation, the animation kind of videos or PPTs would be very useful. At the same time, as our school promotes that we should have lesson plan on on Google Forms, right? So we also make lesson plans on Google Forms. At the same time, it is also advisable by the government that in 6 out of your 3 lesson plan you should use technology. So I use it. Thank you.
How do you handle discussion about controversial historical topics, ensuring a balanced and respectful environment for all students?
Okay, so yes, so while talking about history, there are so many things that are controversial, right? So in such situation, a teacher or every person should be very stable, correct? You have a firm thoughts, you should have a firm thoughts on such a situation, correct? That doesn't disrespect that person or that event, correct? So a person, I am very, I don't go on a biased mind while teaching any concept. If you are biased in your mind, कि पहले से मेरे दिमाग में कुछ बुरी चीज़ है किसी व्यक्ति के बारे में, and then I have started teaching, then my perspective will be bad, right? So I don't do bias. A teacher should not be biased, and at the same time there should be no prejudice while taking any historical topic. Rest of the thing I try to tell them the facts, correct? And I also tell them what should have been done in such a situation. If this could have been done or if this could have been happened, then it would have been better or it would have been worse or worse.
How do you connect historical concept to current events and show their relevance to today's world?
Yes. So if 2-3 years ago there was a news that war broke out Ukraine and Russia, right? So in such a situation, while taking assemblies, our emphasis was on promoting peace, right? So nobody wants war. Every nation and every individual wants peace, correct? So in this situation, I have to tell them the various examples of the war that occurred in the past, World War I, World War II, right? So these examples were given, and I told them that if we are promoting peace in the society, if we are promoting brotherhood, sovereignty, equality in the society, then incidences like this would not occur, right? So these things are also there in our preamble. So this is how I have connected from war to our constitution from the past world wars and the current situation. Right? So now do you think if war broke out and that would be beneficial for any country? No. Right? So what are we promoting? Basically, we should promote peace. Right?
How do you assess students and understanding and progress?
Yes. So, for example, suppose I am asking them questions, right? And how much they know about that particular concept. Beside the facts I have told them, okay? Beside the fact I have told them. So, if they are giving a good response, if they are telling the facts, beside that I have told them, it means that the child is preparing well. He is taking the help of references, newspapers, encyclopedias, correct? It means that the child is getting ready. He is not only relying on my information that I give. Right? So this is how I come to know that he is really preparing for himself as well as for tomorrow.
Can you share particular successful project that encouraged students' enjoyment and deep learning in history?
Yes. So now I am really working on it actually. I have not done yet. So I really wanted to. I am working on the panchayat for our school, right? And a long time ago, I have done a project on when I was not there in this school. So I have done a project on solar system, right? So students were really curious to know how is the system, right? And how far planets are, what is the speciality, what are the features of each planet, how actually this system works. So I have done a project on that solar system, and students really enjoyed that, and it was a kind of achievement for me.
How do you collaborate with your colleagues to integrate history with their curriculum?
Colleagues, please repeat the question.
How do you collaborate with your colleagues to integrate history with their curriculum?
Yes. So as you all know, we have a concept called integral education, right? So in the same way, if I am taking a history topic or geography topic, so we all decide that have you heard of this in your this chapter? Like suppose you have a topic on Earth. Suppose I am taking the topic Earth. So already you have a poem based on the same, like on Mother Earth, right? Or Mother, right? So this is how we connect to each other, and we talk with the colleagues that can we share something while taking this particular topic.
Would you like to share any message to the audience?
Okay. Any message? So keep exploring, okay, and do not kill your curiosity. If you kill your curiosity, any question, a silly question you have, okay, do not get a feeling that if I ask this question, what others will say, or will everybody laugh on my this question? No. If you are feeling that if I ask this question, then it will be like, he doesn't know this or she doesn't know this. So you can ask a teacher personally when the teacher is out of the class, and try to be a very good observer, right? That I have told you in one of my sessions, GK sessions.
In which year you joined the Nivam?
Nivam, I joined in the year 2020, June 2020.
Date?
1st June 2020. Yes.
Do you like the Nivam?
Yes, very much. Like every children likes school, and every teacher likes his or her school. So I like Nivam very much. Yes.
Why do you choose social studies subject only?
Yes. So before joining as a teacher in Nivam, so I was taking multiple subjects. I was not a SST teacher, right? I was taking Hindi. And from that day onwards, I like to write a lot. I used to write poems. If you remember, I had presented one poem during presentation, right? So that was written that time. And I used to take science because science was one of my very favorite subject. तो ऐसा कोई सब्जेक्ट नहीं बचा जो मैंने नहीं लिया था, except संस्कृत and I think no art did here, right? So that is why I was keeping changing. So because I was a primary teacher, and for a primary teacher there is no special subject, right? So I taught Marathi, Hindi, history, geography, art, math. So math was difficult for me to because I have to prepare a lot, right? Yes.
So why do you study this school only?
Yes,
Why do you study this school only?
this school only. Yes. So when I got to know about this school, I have worked in around 5 schools. 2 schools in Pune and around 3 schools in Amravati. And
Three schools?
3 schools, one is Jack and Jill, another is Abhyasa, one is Wisdom, and another is Shiv English School. There are 4 schools.
Sir,
Nivam, in Pune, I was in Janta Shikshan Sanstha, VAN English Medium School, and another. Before joining as a teacher, we had to do internship. Internship is a kind of training for teachers. You have to join as a trainee. Then you have to observe lessons. You have to keep interacting with children. So there I learned a lot, and it was my very first school as a trainee. So it was B.R. Ghulam Marathi Medium School. It was in Sangli, Pune. Yes.
can you say some plus points and minus points about them?
Plus points and minus points about Nivam. So as I have worked in
Other schools.
compared to other schools, why do you want to compare? Okay, so I will tell you the points that I really liked about Nivam is we really follow the concept that nothing can be taught. Though you are given teachers, though we are educators, but we learned a lot besides teacher tells you from our campus, right? From the books, from the library books, from the activities that we take, right? So in the activity, teacher is just a facilitator, but through activities you practically getting some kind of knowledge, experience, and that experience goes till last. When you are grown up, when you will become adult, so you will never forget these experiences that you were a part of Nivam. And you've done ATB, you have done activity blocks, you have done integral education, assemblies, you undertook assemblies, right? Will you forget? I would not forget, and I have never taken these kind of things in any school. I have been in around 6 to 7 schools, and I have not taken these kind of activities as well as assemblies, and I have never interacted and I have never given interviews. That is why. How to succeed in our life, that you know better. See, success is not a, I think I have heard these lines so many times. So success is not a destination, it's a journey. Right? Every day we are learning new things, we are improving. For example, this year you know little bit. The next year, when you ask the same question to you, you will feel that, oh, I have learned these many things. But if you open the books, when you go to library, when you talk to your teacher, when you talk to scholars, when you talk to scientists, when you listen to different interviews, you will see that, array, abhi to bahut baki hai. Right? So that is why success is not a destination, it's a journey. You have to keep walking, you have to keep getting, you have to keep learning. Right? So if you do this, right, so one day you will feel satisfaction. The day you will feel satisfaction, see, I have done this. Right? So these are your landmarks. One by one, you have to achieve this. Right? And these landmarks will never end. आपको वो अचीव करते रहना पड़ेगा. Yes.
From which class you started teaching and how many students were there?
In my first school,
When you joined?
joined Nivam, I was taking SSP for grade 4, 5 hours. Yes.
And how many students were there?
I was taking online classes. So Soham's batch was there, Swani's batch was there. Swani, how many children were there? 6 children. And Manasvi Didi was there, the one who played character of Chanakya.